So yesterday, the Delta Force devs hosted a live stream that really showcased the new season, everything that we're going to get in terms of new content, things they're working on, and I just wanted to break it down into something a little bit more digestible because the live stream did go on for like, I think it was like an hour 30 or even more than that, which was a pretty long live stream. So I'll try and keep the same flow as them. So we're going to start off with Operations. So Operations is getting a new map, Tide Prison. So this one's an interesting one because you start off with no gear and you need to collect your gear in order to eventually be able to extract from the prison. So you're seeing this teaser trailer of that new map in the background right now, and it's just an interesting premise. Now I would imagine that you load in with your own gear, but at the beginning you have to use the key card to actually get out of the jail cell, and then you go and collect your gear in a close by locker to then play the map as usual and hopefully find some neat loot. There's also a new operation called Operation Flood. So much like Operation Serpentine that we got a while back, this is like a co-op mission as far as I understand, that'll allow you and I would imagine two other friends to squad up and do this mission or queue up with randoms, whatever you want. And then every time you complete the operation, you get tickets that allow you to hopefully get a skin by trading them in, much like Operation Serpentine again. So that's pretty neat, more co-op content. They also implemented swimming in Delta Force, which will allow you to actually go underwater. Apparently you can still get shot at, but you can't shoot out of the water, so shoot at people that are, standing on the shore or whatever it may be. But there you go, swimming is an interesting addition right there. They also added the collection room, which basically allows you in your black site to display all the juicy loot that you've gotten throughout your operations career, for lack of a better word. But yeah, just basically a place where you can showcase all your cool stuff. They did have creators come on to ask questions, and one that really piqued my interest, or piqued the interest of, I would imagine, a lot of people is solo mode coming to Operations in Delta Force? They said that if it was requested enough and a highly requested feature, they would evaluate it a little bit more in depth, but they also say that the balancing would be a little bit difficult for that solo mode, but they're not closed to the idea of having the solo queue in Operations. Moving on to Warfare, so we're getting a new map called Cyclone, so an island map as they had teased in the last dev stream before last season. This new map will feature jet skis. Don't know if jet skis will be added to other maps or if they're just going to be for this specific map. I guess we'll have to find out later when the season releases. It's an island themed map with a crash vessel. There's an ICBM base in there. In this map, there's also going to be dynamic weather events, so that's interesting. I don't know if we're going to see dynamic weather events on other maps, but this one will definitely have them. So pouring down rain and storms and stuff like that and strong winds will all be things that you'll be able to experience in the map Cyclone. No clue whether it'll actually affect gameplay or it's just more of a visual thing. You can also swim on this map, so not only is swimming coming in Operations, but it's also coming in the Warfare version of the game. They also mentioned that infantry gameplay will be prominent on this map, and it honestly looks pretty large in terms of a map. So I'm pretty excited to get my hands on that new map because last season we didn't get one, so it was kind of a letdown. So hopefully this map is very good. Moving on to in production elements. So jets are currently in production, but they will not release with this season. They will be released next season, and I'm curious to see how the jets will handle. I personally don't fly jets, but I'm sure a lot of people would love to get into those, so I'm curious to see how they'll handle because, the other comparison that we have is obviously Battlefield, which does, as far as I understand, air vehicle gameplay pretty well. Again, not an air vehicle player myself, but let me know in the comment section down below if you are excited for jets to be coming out. They also briefly talked about an Egyptian themed map. They didn't mention which mode it was for. It might be for both. I have absolutely no idea. They were only showcasing a singular screenshot, which you're seeing right now. Enhanced Destruction is also in production, and it looks like you're going to be able to do more granular small destruction with even small arms fire, so that's going to be interesting. It looks like they're implementing more physics to objects as well and stuff like that. So that'll be quite interesting to see all those advanced physics that are going to allow you to do some small scale destruction. Moving on to Victory Unite. So that's the game mode that they released maybe a month ago. And unfortunately, it wasn't all that great. It was very hard to get into queues because nobody wants to play it because of how long the matches are, how arguably buggy it is. But they said that they're working on Victory Unite. And as far as I understand, it's going to be a mainstay game mode in Delta Force. So be ready to have that as a permanent addition to Delta Force in the coming months. Who knows? So basically, they're going to have a new call-in feature for commanders, which is the Commander Hub with real-time information and squad management, which you can see on screen now, so you can like just click on the map and call in things or give orders to specific squads directly from the map, which is really nice. Matches will also be shorter according to them, and yeah, it just sounds like it's going to be a mainstay game mode. I honestly didn't hate it. There was just a lot of things that they should have done before actually releasing the game mode, in my opinion. So rebalancing the vehicles, making sure that you can't just call in vehicles just willy-nilly out of nowhere, because considering the longer respawn times, it just made it a very, very poor experience, in my opinion, among many other issues that the game mode has, but I digress. This is a small change, so not related to Victory Unite, but they're going to have distinct operator visuals for both GTI and Havoc for all the characters in the game. So you'll be able to actually see the difference between, a Viren that's in the GTI force versus a Viren that's in the Havoc force. So that's just a very nice small difference, but it'll really allow you to distinguish enemies versus friendlies a lot easier. Moving on to mobile, so they're saying that they're actually working on controller support for mobile. I've seen a lot of people ask these questions in like the comment section. And yeah, they're working on it. We didn't get much information other than just they're working on it. They also briefly touched on performance optimization for mobile, because obviously there's like 1,000 different types of phones that you can have that run Delta Force. So they are working on performance optimizations for arguably lower end devices. Somebody also asked in the chat during their small period of questions if they were going to nerf Luna. Now, they didn't just flat out say that they would nerf her, but they said that other operators would get some buff and love so they can be brought to the same level, hopefully, as Luna and the arguably other higher tier operators in Delta Force. Moving on to the new operator, Claire Ann Byers, an assault operator codenamed Tempest. Now, I made a video talking about her abilities when the official trailer for her launched a few days ago, so I'll leave a card up in the top right hand corner if you want to go and check that video out. But just to summarize Tempest, so she has like an enhanced spine following an injury that she got doing God knows what. Her passive trait is combat roll, so it allows her to do tactical roll in multiple directions from what they say, and it also can knock down enemies. One of her gadgets is the drill charge, so it acts like a throwable that attaches to a hard surface and produces electricity that goes through the surface, disarming enemies as well as temporarily paralyzing them. And her ultimate is like an emergency evasive device, so she puts down like a tank of gas and then she anchors to it, and she can basically pull herself back from danger if she's close to dying. If she does get downed in operations, the device pulls her back automatically and allows her to self-revive, and if she falls from somewhere that's too high, it'll activate suspension mode, just suspending her midair. So that's kind of like the gist of Tempest. Again, if you want a full breakdown or a little bit more in depth, just go watch my video that I made a few days ago. Moving on to new weapons, so we're only getting 2 this season, unfortunately. So the KC-17, it's an AR. It looks like a very short AR, so I would imagine it's going to be very good in CQB engagements. And we're also getting the compound bow, which is interesting. So it's going to be a very obviously silent weapon. They also said that it supports different arrowheads in operations specifically, which is unfortunate. I would like to maybe see different arrowheads as well in warfare, or just different ammo types for other weapons like the shotguns and stuff like that. Having slugs would make them a lot more useful in different situations as opposed to just CQB engagements, but I digress. We're getting the compound bow, which I'm pretty excited about. It's always fun getting kills with a bow. A new gadget we're going to get is a wire-guided missile gadget, so similar to the SRA if you've ever played Battlefield 4, so that allows you to basically control the warhead while you're still ADSing. So this will be nice. It'll allow you to really bend missiles around corners and maybe take down helicopters a little bit easier. Moving on to the console version of Delta Force. So we have an official release date. It will be released on August 19th with beta tests coming in July. I'll try and find the link for the registration of the beta tests and leave it in the description down below so you guys can go and sign up for it if you have been waiting to try out Delta Force on console. They also said that the Black Hawk Down campaign would be released today. I haven't seen anything too much talking about that, but that's what the game director Shadow said. As far as I can understand, the campaign should be coming out today, but again, don't shoot the messenger. I really don't know. I haven't looked into this any more than just the dev stream. Moving on to like the cosmetics and stuff like that, so obviously we're getting a new battle pass, and as far as I understand, the battle pass will include a skin for Stinger, and that's in collaboration with Arknights. They're also going to be releasing a Luna skin, a Hacklaw skin, a Toxic skin, plus like a bunch of other cosmetics, so like player cards and stuff like that, that you'll be able to collect via, either playing the game or you'll have to pay for it with actual real world currency. And there's also going to be a brand new Mandel brick weapon skin that looks pretty neat. I really don't partake that much in purchasing Mandel bricks. I usually just earn them through gameplay, so I don't have one of those fancy skins yet, but this one actually looks pretty cool. So that pretty much covers it for the cosmetics. And lastly, but certainly not the least, they're hosting the first Delta Force Invitational that is available to all players to actually participate in and hopefully qualify for. There'll be a $500,000 USD prize pool for this Delta Force Invitational, and we'll be getting more information on that a little bit later down the line. And last little thing before I sign off here, they had codes during the live stream that allowed you to claim 4x XP cards, 6x weapon XP tokens, and 4 armament vouchers. All of those codes will be in the description down below, as well as in the top pinned comment. Let me know in the comments as well what you're most excited for in the new season of Delta Force. In any case, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.